What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Retro Matador. My name is Retro.
And I'm Matador Gabe.
And we are back. We did take a small little break due to me going out of town to the Austin Horror Film Festival. Also, unfortunately, I had a family event come up, family emergency. So I did have to step away from the show. And Matador, sweet old Matador, was there to support me throughout the whole thing. So, but we are back, and we will continue this week with the Penguin. A quick recap of episode 5 that we missed, and we're going to dive right into episode 6. So, sounds Matador, good. With episode 5, the war is really heating up in Gotham. It is, you got Penguin who betrayed Sofia. Sofia now is talking to Sal Maroni and teaming up. But before we get into that, give me a little bit how you felt about the opening of Sofia talking to the family, the low tier family members, and telling them she's a gigante now.
We came off of the shocking events that happened at the end of episode 4, where she pretty much murked everybody with the silent death, and it was pretty hardcore to see coming from her character, and then just to jump right into like, hey, look, this is the new game we're running. You got Johnny Vitti in the room, and she's talking to all the members and basically just telling them, look, y'all aren't anybody. You're no one. You haven't been made. None of this stuff. You don't have the respect from all the work that you've done. But now with me, we're gonna get you where you need to be. And we're not going to be the same Falcone run organization where we just look at you as expendable pawns. Like I want this to be a big gang where we all feel value. And she's like, I hate my family. I killed them all. And then Johnny Vitti's like, you shouldn't even said nothing about that stuff, right? Like, nah. Listen, he opened his mouth, and just like on the episode where her uncle smokes her henchman without thinking about it, he popped off, and to let him know the power and let everybody see that she's the one in charge, she smoked Johnny Vitti right there without even thinking about it, bro. It's just, you shut up.
He just happened to turn his head and open his mouth, and she just put it to his head, and bow. R.I.P. Johnny Vitti. I thought that snake would last a little bit longer, but he didn't. And I'm kind of glad, but also I was really like, whoa, when she did that to him. Now, we did kind of, again, this is a recap, so we did kind of skip over some things. She did actually hold Johnny Vitti captive most of the episode in a very cold tomb. And he told her, if I say yes and join you, you will kill me once I do what you want me to do. She's like, no, I won't, and did it.
I mean, Johnny Vitti revealed so much to her about how much he knew about what was going on, and I think it just crawled under her skin. She's like, you knew all of this, and it's even worse than I thought. Like, what my dad did is so atrocious, and you still stood by him, even though you're not related to him. You're related to my mom. My mom's brother. And you just accepted that he did that and did nothing and served him. And it's just, bro, like that was coming. She was going for vengeance.
She was going for vengeance. Now, after the war starting to heat up, now Penguin kind of has the upper hand. He's escaped from Sofia and the Maronis, but he has the upper hand in this episode because Sal may have escaped from prison, but the Penguin goes and kidnaps Sal's only begotten son. And he just happens to kidnap him while he's in a tattoo parlor getting a phoenix tattooed on his back. And
I didn't even think about that.
It was very interesting.
I didn't even see that. Well, we know where you're going with it. That's why it's more interesting. I liked that scene because that was one of those moments. Like I'm telling you and everybody else in the show that as I'm watching right now, aside from Oswald and obviously Sofia, like those two are the big enigmatic characters for the show, and they're carrying us through. I'm paying attention to my boy Vic, and I'm on his journey, and I'm just like every little thing that happens because I just like he's my boy. So I'm watching, and this is the first time that like after everything that's happened that he's stepping in to the position. Like, all right, I'm here, and boom, he's over there beating that fool Salvatore's son up, and and I mean, he was slugging that fool. Like he's like, I'm taking this fool down for you. Like so, I thought it was a good moment for Vic. But yeah, goes ahead and kidnaps the son and the mom with all her power and Oz, you do whatever I say. Like well, she's powerless at this point.
Yeah.
That's the right move for Oz to make to make her do whatever he wants. Because
yeah, well, they stole his drugs from him. They stole bliss from him, and it wasn't actually his to begin with, but he set up the operation. They stole it from him, so he stole something important to them. Again, at this moment, Penguin's trying to make a name for himself. Now, he does strike a deal with the Maronis on giving his son back to his wife. He was actually fair. He said, you can bring one bodyguard, just one. And, you know, they show up. Oz does always have a contingency plan. But, you know, they show up and she has one bodyguard. And as soon as he lets the kid go, which she's dripping wet, just dripping. You just hear the drips fall off his body.
Right.
There's the drugs. The Maronis brought the drugs in a truck. He was going to trade the kid for the drugs. And he wasn't a kid. He's like our age.
Right.
But he's trading him for the drugs. Kid's mouth is duct tape, and he's but
yeah.
His Maroni's wife gives a signal. Two other guys come out. So she did not live up to, you know,
right.
what she said she was. And Oz actually came with one bodyguard. Like he actually came with one person.
And listen, his dude and him get a way better shot, bro.
So while the kid's dripping, Oz just lights up his lighter, drops it on the trail of the water, and it's not water. The kid lights up like a Christmas tree while holding his mom.
Bro, and you know, for a second, I was like, all right, he's caught on fire. She finna let go. No, she hugged him tighter and took that L with him, bro. They both went up in flames, and while they're sparkling on fire, Oz just looks at them and watching them burn. Like, bro, like, I mean, he's getting his rocks off in this moment. That's the crazy part. Like, there's the money, there's the power, but then there's I like watching people die. That's what I'm seeing from Oz.
Well, I agree with you on that, but also I feel like it ties in with the power of you called me a dog and that you can train me. And I show you how much power I actually have. And you're nothing to me. So I get that. Now, with Oz being so obsessed with killing them in the moment, he does mess up Bliss. With the fire, the ignition comes down to put the fire out, and the drug. Sofia already said, "Hey, these drugs are very temperamental.
Right.
You change the temperature, you change anything, they will die.
Right. They can mess up real easy."
So Oz does hop in the truck, pulls out real quick, but he let all the fog hit the drugs. And they're dead. And there's only 2 buckets.
Luckily, there's 2 buckets. I mean, yeah, he's mad. He knows everything's shit. And meanwhile, while all that was going down, and from Sal escaping, like he knew how like crazy that was going to be. And even though nobody knows that his mom's alive, he had Victor go hide her. And where he chose to hide her, he went to Crown Point. And so when he went to Crown Point, Victor is like trying to get her into one of the buildings where his friend used to stay or whatever. And then he sees Squid on the street, Squid from a couple episodes ago, the thug that tried to, we find out a little bit later, but it's Squid that is the reason why he's caught up with Oz in the first place, because Squid was the reason why he was trying to steal the tires off of the Penguin's car. Yeah. So all of that is because of Squid. And even in the episodes where it was Vic and his girlfriend, he's like, they're both like, we don't like Squid. He's a piece of shit. So he sees him, so he hides Penguin's mom away from being seen by Squid, but Squid sees them go into the building, and then he doesn't really say nothing about it. But he's all hiding there, and in Crown Point, there's all these people that are still there living in this section of Gotham, but there's no power, there's nothing there. Everybody's just trying to survive, and then they're dealing the drops operation there, all that
which
stuff.
Which is drying up really fast.
Right. It's time for the new drug, right? The drops operation is pretty much evacuated from the city anyway, based off of the Falcone's decisions that they decided to move the stuff out anyway. So we have like a whole scene with Oz and his mom, and she's just kind of like, yeah, you keep bringing me to these low places. Like, you're supposed to be this powerful guy, but you're just not shit. And I can't believe you make your mom like stay here in this crap. You can't even take care of your own mom. Like, I just like, man, like, it's the abuse that's laid in because she just feels like he should be so much better than he is. Like, you can understand why he's so fixated on getting the power, but it's like a constant beatdown of his psyche, and he has to deal with it and eat it, and he keeps failing in her eyes. He reminds me of Seymour Skinner from The Simpsons, and then his old mom just talking best to him with doing the claw machine, like, no, get that one. He's like, you're failing again, Seymour. Like, oh my god, that's exactly the same.
Nah, but that is pretty much the gist of episode 5. But before we move on, I do want to mention one line. There's always a line that Oswald drops in these shows. This one didn't come at the end, surprisingly. So after, killing the Maroney's son and wife, Ronnie gives him a call. He goes, "You're cooked, Oswald. You're cooked." And Oswald just throws in, "Oh, yeah? Well, how about you call your wife and son?" Like, dang, oh my gosh. Who does that?
That fool. He's that guy. And so, yeah, that's pretty much wrapping up the episode. It does end on where we're going to episode 6. We'll just kind of use it as a lead in. But they discover underground tunnels that they used to use for the like old subway metro system that they used to have. It's no longer working. It's all abandoned. But Penguin knows all about it. He used to go down there with his brothers and stuff. And he's like, hey, like, we still got to do what we got to do. And this is the atmosphere here, like the way it feels, how muggy it is a perfect place for mushrooms.
The shrooms to grow,
right. Right. So this becomes like the Penguin's hideout, right? Like this is that new spot. And then we move into episode 6, right? And it's a big jump. So we kind of talked about it. So the Batman movie took place right on Halloween.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days after Halloween, right? And then, so we know it's like November something. It's around like right now, right? Same kind of time. And then time passes a couple weeks. Then the Penguin show starts.
And it's actually 6 days. When the show picks up, Falcone has only been dead for 6 days.
Okay. And so this is like each episode has only been like a day.
A day or a week, just depends on. So yeah, I think roughly we've been with Penguin for 2 weeks after the Batman. Now, like you're saying, this is a time jump. So now we don't really know where we are. It is rumored that the Batman 2 will take place on Christmas and end around New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. So we have to be within those first 2 weeks of December when this episode picks up because it's snowing in Gotham.
Right. So I mean, they don't really give us like a place to like see the date, at least not yet. We didn't see nothing about like at Thanksgiving. I don't recall. So I don't know if we're right before that and it's just snowing in Gotham already by then, or we're like you said in December. But that's kind of the time frame because they had to have time for mushrooms to grow. So,
and he already had he already selling it and giving away on the streets. So it has to be a significant week. It has to be a few weeks, to be honest. You can't grow that much. But again, this is all fiction, so we can't think too hard into it. But what I do want to point out, Matador, is that's not just any railroad system underground. That's the Wayne Foundation train that in any book or any comic book or anything you see of Batman, normally it's on top of Gotham, but this time it's underground, which if we look back towards the Batman, that's Bruce's operation as well. He is working in the tunnels. So at some point, they're going to cross each other's paths in the tunnel.
Listen, I'm keep saying it's the one thing that I'm going to keep on saying. It's the only issue I have with the show because everything else is 100% great and magnificent. But if I had to say it's instead of 100% out of 100, it's 100 out of 102, and those 2 points go to how come Batman is not around to even investigate any of this stuff happening. The Maroni escape from Blackgate, Batman should be the first fool. Like, why did that just happen? After already the Falcones just all died, he should be the one that knows. The Maroni stuff, and then you have this fool tinkering around inside the damn subway, his family's train. There ain't no electricity yet, but he should have a pulse on Gotham. And we hadn't even heard about the Batman, not even like on the news, like nothing. So
well, to be fair, it is Batman's second year still. And if we're talking about weeks, he honestly just got a close range shot, a shotgun to the chest. So
I can't accept this. I can't accept that. He was at the end of the movie, standing tall, heroing, helping people get out of the flood.
Well, he had adrenaline in his system.
That was the next day, bro. That was already light outside. It was not nighttime anymore. He was in the sunlight. Batman out in the daytime, bro. It was the Dark Knight Rises. He's out in the sun fighting that fool. But I'm trying so hard, but so much time has passed. Now we're weeks past that. And we're still not even getting a sniff of Batman. It just feels a little bit weird. Now, doesn't take away from the show. Like I said, it's still 100%. I would rate it 100 out of 100. But if you give me the extra 2, that's my one little gripe, is that it's almost not realistic to me.
Well, I think Batman will start. Sorry.
Well, yeah. No, Go ahead.
I just think that Bruce doesn't have his hand on the pulse like he should right now. Not just because I'm not going to make excuses for the gunshots. I think he will because we are getting close to the end of the season. Penguin just gave away in this episode a bunch of drugs to different factions and territories all over Gotham.
Yeah.
When he kept it in a very small area at first. So now Batman is going to be like, what's this new drug? Why is everybody fiending for this drug? Because Penguin he told the men that are working for him in this operation in the tunnels, which are men from Crown Point. Got to give Penguin some props. He's giving back to the hood, which is, it's sad that they got to do drugs, but no one cares about them. No one is caring about at all. Like I said, there's no power, there's no nothing. So this is how they're making money in a somewhat decent way. to provide for their families.
Right. And
now since he gave it away for free, it's gonna come back on Penguin.
Right. So I feel that, which that's fine. That's just my little gripe, but I know I like to rant about it. But I'm gonna keep on every week until we get something. I don't need the Batman to show up physically. I just need there to be an awareness that he's there, and because it's just the way that Batman operates. He's always paying attention, and the news was too big for the Falcone's deaths. All of that's really big and close to home, so he should be snooping around already. But whatever, I hadn't seen Bad Signal, so I don't know what's going on. But on the other side, we get a good opportunity for the Penguin to establish to Victor like how much this means for what he's doing. Like he's trying to build Victor into being like him and to understand like this is why we value this stuff, and this is why these people are about to work so hard for you, because they feel good. They're going to be loyal because why? We pay them. We pay them.
That was
we
a great
take care
line.
of them. We take care of them. And, he's like, one, the operation is not going to work out if we can't get the electricity on, right? So he's got his guy trying to work on it. And he's like, bro, I'm doing everything I can, but they're rationing the electricity to the rich in Gotham, which is just another slap in the face to the Penguin and everybody else like him and everybody in Gotham who's not rich and spoon-fed and got all that stuff, right? So he is explaining to Victor those things, but not only does he explain it, he goes and does something about it. He goes and he hits up his congressman friend over there. I forgot what his name is, but he's like, he grabbed him with some damn pliers on his damn nose and was like, bro, you're gonna do for me. He's like, I owe Carmine. I don't owe you nothing. He's like, nah.
I'm the new boss in town.
Your business with Carmine was your business with Carmine. You owe me, dog. I got all the dirt on you, dog. I can go spoil everything for you. And you be sitting in Blackgate.
Now, also, it's not the fact that he was doing it for the drugs. He also was doing it for the community of Crown Point because it's getting cold.
His mom's
there freezing. But that's why it's so crazy to me that Oswald Cobblepot is doing things for himself, but he is also looking out for his community and people around him.
Right.
Which is so crazy.
Oh, they're building him up in this way where it's like, on the one hand, he's a villain, he's vile, and everything that's bad about him, they're saying it, and we're just along for the ride. And on the other hand, they're building him up to be, like he says in the episode, I have a code. He got a code, and he's following his code. We just don't know what the line is on his code for when what he's saying, like, oh no, I'd rat you out, or I'd get rid of you real fast, or I'd betray you. We don't know where his code stops, but he does have a code, and that code includes taking care of the people, almost like in a Robin Hood type fashion of like, we need to come up. People like me who didn't have nothing should be the people in power in Gotham, because we hate the rich. Like, the rich are entitled and they have everything while we slave and we do everything and we get nothing, and they treat us like crap. So he's just like this big embodiment of that. And so we can relate to that because, obviously we're not rich in our lives. So a lot of times, like, even politics and all this stuff, like, oh, it's going to benefit the rich and not benefit us. And so we look at that and be like, okay, so it's rich versus poor, or whatever level in between. Like, there's only the rich and then there's everyone else. And that's how he feels. And he's trying to take up that fight so we can side with him on that. And, it's just a really cool dynamic to see. But him getting it done and them turning the lights on, well, Victor, he's dealing with, oh boy,
Squid. So now, you do have Victor dealing with Squid throughout the episode. Squid approaches Victor and is like, hey, I want in. I know you got some brand new sneakers. I see that watch on your hand. Like, ain't no money here. Ain't no drops here. So what are you doing? How can I get in? How can I feed me and mine? And Victor's like, nah, man, I don't know. I mean, he and Squid's like, let me talk. Well, talk to your boss. Let me see what's up. Victor does approach Penguin, but he's in the middle of this episode. Like you said, he's trying to get the lights turned on, get his mom warm, make sure he's still trying to make, even though he's not mentally there, he's still trying to make sure Victor's good.
Right.
You know, things like that. Make sure the drugs are running well. So his brain's not there. And Victor's trying to tell him about this guy. He's like, what? Huh? Victor's like, nah, I got it. Don't worry. I got you.
Right.
Squid does reapproach him. Say, hey, have you talked to your boss? And Victor's like, nah, man, like, we don't have any room, you know, but he does understand, my boss does understand that, you know, you're doing your thing. When some openings come up, I got you, but right now we're just gonna make sure you eat good.
Right.
So here's some cash. And I'll pay you this every week. Me and my boss made a deal on it.
Right.
Not good enough for Squid.
Not at all, bro. And this is a moment that now I can see the effects that Oz had on Victor. These moments where he gets disrespected and how that violates the Penguin so much. And we'll go back to the episode with the waiter that like spoke for him and now so disrespectful, and Oz like, don't let him do that shit. Right? This is that moment.
Where Squid starts to throw the cash.
Yeah. It's like
this is probably like $2,000 if I'm not mistaken, Matador.
Like I'm just trying not to deal with you, but I'm also being good and giving you money. He's like, you can't just pay me off, dude. You gonna take me over there? He starts trying to punk him and stuff. And he says the wrong thing. He says, maybe I gotta go visit that old lady. Maybe I gotta go do something. So now you've taken Victor from a place of like, I was trying to handle this and you disrespected me, but now you've also threatened the only person outside of the Penguin that I care about, because now he's got a relationship with his mom too, and that's his little family. They even had like a moment where they were doing like a damn breakfast scene, like they're just like a little family, like nothing's going on, and yeah stuff was just not working early in the episode. But that's Vic's family now, and you just threatened him. So he's like, all right, I'll take you, and snap, boom, turns around, pops that fool.
Gets him in the neck. Squid chokes and bleeds out on the concrete, and you do see Victor kind of feel terrible. You know, he feels terrible, he feels bad, and he goes back to the Penguin's lair, and the Penguin knows something's up. And he asks Victor, and Victor tells him, you know, and like you said, they're like a family. Victor breaks down in the Penguin's arms. And the Penguin holds him and tells him, Oz leans over and goes, it gets easier, kid.
Right.
Which leads me to think that he could still be Victor's ass, bro. I'm just saying.
Listen, I think that's 100. And I think the part that, like, if you look at like Batman, it's like it's a trip down psychology lane and all this stuff, right? And you think about psychopaths and stuff like that. Well, the one thing that I notice is a big trend for killers to say, and people who murder people. It's something that Victor said, and I'm sure they put that line for a reason. But when he did it, why did you make me do this? See what you made me do to you. Like, bro, he can't accept that he made a choice. It's like, no, he made me do that. So now it's like, I'm not even associating the murder with myself. It's, I did what I had to do. And that's what it's always going to be every time he does it. So it's just going to, like he said, it's going to get easier for him. And he's not going to have to deal with the emotional impact. And the more he becomes numb, I mean, I was just waiting to see, like, where's the nod, where's the mark that he's going to give himself, right? Because he's got to keep track. I just know that Squid is number one. I mean, is he though? Because he kind of did run over that other dude. Like, I don't know if that dude is.
That dude's dead. That dude's dead 100%.
So
but that was the fight or flight moment.
That was like, I'm saving somebody, and this was murder, cold blood. Like, Like, I can't let you get near that old lady.
Yeah, which now we're going to go into some deeper elements of the episode, which, you know, you have Sofia Gigante and Salvatore Moroni living together in the Falcone family home.
Bro, wow.
You know, Sofia is having relations with the doctor, a very gimpy relationship.
Well, bring out the gimp.
He is a sub. We're not gonna get too far into that, but he is bowing down to his queen of Gotham in this moment. And he leaves, and Sofia comes out her room and sees Sal. He's cooking an Italian dinner for him and her. And you get this very father-daughter bond that she never got with her father, and maybe he never gave to his son, realizing they've both lost pivotal parts in their life that they'll never get back. But here's a moment where we can feel that connection that we would never feel again.
Right. Yeah, it was a good scene. You know, he's cooking this food and he's just in there and she's just like, why are you so chilling, bro? Like it is such a father-daughter moment. And it's got to be weird because he literally was the mortal enemy of the family. Right.
But that's what Falcone made them feel. He made them feel like mortal enemies. And he's been living in there for a while since we have a time jump.
Right.
But she's comfortable with him and he's comfortable with her. And, you know, he's a fugitive of the state. He's escaped prison, but no one's thought to go look at the Falcone home because they're mortal enemies.
Right. And right now they're basically the family unit because Sofia don't have nobody else and he don't have nobody else. Like they have the gang and they have their people, but they don't have anybody to talk to besides each other, like at that level. So, you know, their camaraderie is working, and then they go looking for Oz. You know, they look in his apartment and stuff. They're trying to figure out where he's at because that's the goal. We got to go kill this fool, so we got to find something. And it was one of the funniest scenes to me of the episode because that fool, Clancy Brown's doing amazing.
That's my Lex Luthor before anything, bro.
That fool is doing amazing, and he's over there just like, bro, he doesn't have nothing. His brother's dead, his mom's dead. Like that's what he knows, right? And because he's like, I see the picture, and then she's like, nope, they're dead. And he's like, he took everything from me, and I can't take nothing from him. He doesn't have anything. Like,
we got no food, we got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off!
Bro, he trips out. It's just like, here, take this golf club and just, you know, take out your anger. He just starts beating the shit out of it. It's fucking funny, man.
I think my favorite part in the same part that you're talking about is it's a joke from 2 or 3 episodes ago when Sofia turns on she thinks it's the television, but it's the fireplace with the music. She goes, ugh, tacky. And then, and then Moroni does it, and he doesn't even say. He just looks at Sofia. She goes, "I know."
oh man!
But
they don't find shit, right? Like they don't find anything. Well, they do at the very end. She finds the drawers in the drawer that leads Sofia to exactly where she needs to go.
Yeah, Oz's girlfriend from the very beginning in the first episode was like, do not drag me into this. I cannot be your alibi in this. And he promised her, he's like, I got you, I got you, I got you. Well, she finds her, her stuff and goes over to her house. And it's very Joker style. Like when the Joker shows up to Barbara Gordon's home, she's holding the pistol the exact same way, by the way.
Yeah, I was getting them vibes. I mean,
But
Classic
she goes in.
moment.
Yeah, she goes in. She interrogates her, and you don't know what's going to happen in the moment. You know, you think Sofia's going to kill her, and it's a very unsettling vibe. And you brought up Oz's code, right?
Right.
Well, Oz, we didn't get to talk about this in episode 5, but Oz obviously loves this girl because he does show up after, he knows everyone's after him and his mom. And he tells her, he's like, I'm going to take you to Crown Point. No one's going to find us there. I'm going to take care of you like I promised. Well, she rats him out to Sofia. She says, hey, he's in Crown Point. The woman that Oz does care about other than his mom rats him out and says, oh, I think it's just a fair shot for you, which is true. I'm not going to be upset with her. It is true. But in the moment, this man cares about you and you rat him out. Now, Oz has done that to other people, but I think this is where you said you don't know where that line is drawn. I don't think there's a line anymore for Oz after we see next week's episode, which we'll get to. I don't think there's a line anymore, Matador.
Yeah.
Because of this betrayal.
Yeah, I was on the same page as you. I mean, what she did say was like, you think I'm the hangman. Like, the whole time she's ever spoken with Sofia, she's been under the impression that she's the one going around killing all of her friends and all of her people. Because, Oz's girl is taking care of all of the other women who are working the streets. And she's kind of that role, so she cares about them. And at first, she's like, you're gonna shoot me, just leave them alone, right? Like I'm gonna take that hit. I'm not gonna say nothing to you. I'm not gonna tell you nothing. I don't know nothing. But when she reveals that, oh, I'm not the hangman, but you think I am, it's really my dad. And Oz knew. I think that moment, that's when she makes that choice of like, yeah, as much as I care about Oz, he didn't care about me enough to tell me the truth about what happened to all my friends and all my girls. So, I mean, I don't want you to kill him, but I'm going to give you your shot because he's earned it. He's earned your wrath, and I'm going to do you a solid in this moment, which is messed up. But I feel it. There was like a moment of bonding between the only two women in Oz's life that matter, and they bonded on a betrayal from Oz. So, I mean,
he does deserve it, and like I said, I'm not gonna blame her, shame her.
She's not ride or die though.
She's not exactly, and but she stood on business. She stood on her principle. Ever since she's been in the show, she's always only been about her girls.
Right. So
we have to respect her on that matter. She stood on her business from jump, and she showed us that ever since she entered the show. Right. So we cannot fault her for doing what she's just protecting her girl. So can't hate her for that. But while this, scene is going on, you get Oz rounding up the gangs.
Man.
Telling them, hey, it's all different gangs that he gave the drugs away to at the beginning. Think they care about you? Huh? See those lights over there? Dark over here. They don't care about us.
Right.
He's just going off, letting them know, like, they don't trust Oz. They don't know what's going on. But he makes them believe.
Right. He hit that rally speech. He did everything. The rich people don't care about y'all. I'm just like y'all. I know exactly what it's like for them to take advantage of you. And we ain't got to be that. We could just band together and we can be the power in Gotham. We don't have to let Sofia, we don't have to let Salvatore run the stuff. We could just all be together, have each other's back. And we could do it. And they don't want to trust it. But, I mean, he hit home for a couple of them. And once you got a couple on board, then the rest just kind of fall in line. And they're like, all right, they said their piece, but they all seem to be on the same page. And then they zoom in for one of those Oz smirks. Bro, like, it's not... As y'all are right to not trust this man, bro. They shouldn't trust him, but they're gonna go along with it because it sounds good, and I'm sure they all gonna make a moment where they have like, I'm gonna make my own play, so I'm gonna feed into it. But he's already thinking like he already knows what he's finna do.
Well,
All
did you
y'all are
realize that
expendable.
did you realize he passed out the beer to the leaders first? So, and then he grabs a beer 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later. I think he'll kill the leaders. And then their underdogs will be like, oh, he's not messing around. Let's not make a move on him and just do what he does, because he grabbed a beer. Like I said, 2-3 minutes later in the scene, it just felt awkward. Like, you would grab a beer first, but he passes out the beers in a certain order. And I could be wrong. It just felt a little awkward to me.
I mean, it could be foreshadowing though, because I mean, it makes sense. And there was even a moment where the triads, the boss, he was like the main one. Like, nah, y'all don't need to trust this fool. And then the underling, he was there. You know, he fucks with Oz, and it's like he was ready to say yeah, but he wasn't gonna say it until his boss said yeah.
Yeah.
Right, they're all popping their stuff to like show the allegiance, but it was like he kind of just looking at his boss back his head like, "What you finna do, dog? You finna do it? Because we can do this.
I got you here."
Yeah, we could do it. I mean, I believe in it, right? He was already ready, but he knows it's not up to him. But I don't know. I just we can't trust Oz. We can't, not with those characters. I only have trust for his mama and for Victor, and even then, like, I feel like they're gonna be so rude, and something's gonna happen to Victor, and I'm gonna be so mad.
I think
so mad.
Well, where the episode does end is right after Oz takes a toast with the gangs of Gotham and creating his new goons. You do see Victor go check on Oswald's mom, and the lights come on. He goes, "You see?" Oh, she freaks out because her record player comes on. From earlier, they set it up with Oz trying to put on a record for her, and it's her favorite song. And she's like, "No, leave it on. I love this."
Right.
And her and Victor dance together, and he goes, You see that?" He said, "Your son did that. I did that." And she's so proud of her son in that moment, even though she mentally abuses this man.
Yep. But this is all she wants. She wants him to be the top dog. She wants him to be that. But I mean, when he ain't that, she puts him down. But I mean, that's what she wants for him. She just doesn't want to be a bottom feeder, like what they are.
Because she does mention, she was like, "I'm gonna go talk to that old gangster that he always used to talk about," and I think that's his dad, personally.
Yeah, she's having some dementia moments where she was thinking that Oz was his dad. So, I mean, I
think that old gangster was his dad, and that's why he lives by that code.
It'd be interesting if they took us back to see that, but I don't know.
I don't think we have that many episodes left. But, by the end of this episode, again, Victor and Oz's mom is dancing, and there is a person in the house with a fucking crowbar. And then you wonder why and who it is. It's Sofia. Gigante. And it just ends. It's a cliffhanger. Cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's got me worrying about a lot of stuff. I honestly, I don't think anything's gonna happen to Victor. It can't. It's not until the end. Not until the very last episode. But I'm worried about his mom. I feel like she didn't even know she was alive. So at this point, I don't know. And she had that moment already, letting Oz know, like, hey, when the time comes, you gotta put me down, because I'm not gonna be all crazy and not be able to know who I am and stuff. Like, you have to take care of me that way. And he didn't want to do it, but I feel like she's already at the end of her road.
And this is just, something real. There are, if you know someone that suffers from dementia, it's a thing. My grandmother suffers from it. It is hard to see someone you love go through that road. And it's sad to say, because she said that, you kind of understand when you know someone going through that road. So I'm glad they're focusing on people that go through this thing. They hint towards other things like growing up in the hood and drug abuse and things of that nature, but wanting to strive to take care of someone with dementia. Oz is doing that, and he may be doing it the wrong way, right? But the loved ones you have, you want to make sure that you're doing it the proper way. And
Right.
I think he is doing what he can, the best he can for her. So I would be extremely sad if something were to happen to her, because yes, she's not the greatest person in the world, but someone who doesn't know where they are, what's going on, who you are, it's terrible to take something out on them like that. But that's what will make Sofia the big bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're dealing with a show of villains. I mean, at the end of the day, these are bad characters, and that's like a heel in wrestling, right? Like, what makes them heel? Cheating, all the bad things, doing everything they can to make us hate them. That's the whole point. And what better way to make us hate Sofia than her to take out characters that we like, or that feel like you shouldn't do that to those characters. Like Victor taking out Squid, I was like, well, he needed to do that.
Yeah.
That fool was about to do something way messed up. Yeah, it's bad to murder, but he needed to do that to that fool in that situation, right?
But it's crazy to think that you would think Squid would do that, but someone close to Oz did it. Like, they set it up for Squid to do it, but someone close to home, to his heart, did it to him.
Whew. Man, it was a good episode. It was a really good episode. Every single one of these episodes was laid out to like, hey, let's just put it in the right order. But every episode just keeps getting better and better and better. Some great storytelling. This is the magic of DC Universe. This is the magic of DC Comics. This is what Batman's tank has going for it. You see how freaking strong the storytelling is? This is what sets it apart from all those movies that we just keep getting that are just action and lots of jokes and comedy and they don't really mean nothing to me no more, right? It's just fluff. This is an amazing show.
It's great. It's gonna win some Emmys and hopefully some Golden Globes. Colin Farrell is a great, not just actor, but a man in real life. He's running marathons with his friends that are, disabled. He's
cool.
Doing fundraisers and donating to fund foundations for, his son that has a disorder. He's a great man, and even though he's playing a crazy messed up character, I hope him all the best in award season coming up. We do got to finish the show. But I think there are some good grounds to already nominate him and a few others in this show for the next award season. Now, Matador, it was great. I'm ready for next week. We will not be late for next week's episode because of this crazy cliffhanger that it was left on.
Yeah, no. I mean, all things going according to plan, we'll have an episode on regular scheduled time. But, I thank y'all for sticking with us, even though we didn't put nothing out. But yeah, just with that being said, if you like what we're doing, if you like this show, if you like the Penguin, you like our review show, go ahead and just drop us a like and subscribe. Click that subscribe button and the bell so you can get notified when the next episode comes out. But yeah, man, hey, I'm looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to doing some scary movie stuff. You know, Halloween's coming, but we just didn't get it out by the time we wanted to get it out. You know, stuff happened, but we're still going to deliver that content, dog.
We have a scary movie for every holiday, so don't worry about it.
Every movie, every season is spooky season, baby.
100%. But my name is Retro.
And I'm Matador Gabe. And
thank you for watching our show.
Yeah.